This is me seriously considering quitting the RC plane hobby for good. After I found some plans online for a 2-sheet RC wing, I thought, this is gonna be a piece of cake. Cut here, glue there, cut there, glue here, throw in a wooden spar for strength and add some electronics and it's ready to fly, right? I was sorely mistaken. So I got the wings cut out, started gluing them together, added in the wing spars, and joined the two halves together. Then it was time to cut out and install the fins. Next was the motor pod, motor, ESC, and receiver. Once that was done, I wired up the servos for the elevons and connected the control rods. At that point, this plane was ready to fly. Alrighty, so I decided I want to put a coat of paint on the plane here. So this is kind of what I've got going on. I've got this taped off so that this will get painted. I think I'm going to do all blue here. And then I'm going to peel this off and it's going to have like white streaks through it. And I think it'll be pretty cool. I need to copy this onto the bottom side. And then when after I paint the blue layer, I'm going to tape this off right here and put black tips on the tips there, and then I'm going to paint this black here as well. So I think it's going to be pretty cool in the end, pretty simple, and we're going to see how it turns out. I had just finished building the plane and thought, this is going so well, why not throw a coat of paint on there while I'm at it? So I spent another few hours painting it, but hey, it's fine because everything's going so perfectly and it's going to be the best flying plane ever, right? So I launched it for the first flight attempt and it nosedived straight into the asphalt driveway. Great way to start a new build. Looks like we're gonna have to move our center of gravity a little bit and we're gonna have to attach our battery a little bit better. So let's make some improvements and try this one more time. It's fine, I've come across this before. So I installed a better battery strap and get ready for flight 2 after adjusting the CG. This time it doesn't crash immediately, so that's an improvement, but it's still nosediving a lot. It must be nose heavy, right? The plane is still intact, so I adjust the CG again and get it ready for flight 3. And this time it kind of flew. That gave me a little hope to keep on going. But it was super pitchy and very, very hard to control. We can technically call this one a flight, but barely. Ouch. And I definitely need to work on those landings. It's like so pitchy. Well, we're gonna have to look into that. That's why this is an experiment, guys. Let's see what we can do to find out. Let's go get the wreckage. Oh no, well, there's a little bit of damage there, but not too bad overall. I think it was a pretty hard hit, so honestly surprised how well it's intact. Okay, back to the drawing board. It's got to be a CG problem. I spent way more time trying to figure out where the CG should go than I would like to admit. And these are moments where you feel like you just hit rock bottom with the project. You've poured so much time into it and just can't get it to work. But the joy that comes in the morning when the sun finally rises on your project, that's what makes this all worth it. After several long conversations with our favorite virtual helper, ChatGPT, we determined the CG was way off. I adjusted it way forward. I gave more details about the wing shape, and after even more back and forth, we decided the CG needed to be moved way back instead. At this point, I didn't even know what was right anymore, but I had to try something. So I moved the CG forward again. I ran the plane, pushing it into the air, and every time I released it, nosedived right into my hand again. So I moved the center of gravity back further. As you can see, my battery's way slid backwards. So we're about 7.5 inches back from the leading edge of the wing, which is about halfway back, which seems crazy for the math, but I think maybe it'll work. Now, the CG was basically right back where I started. So we might as well try another flight again. And of course, something else had to go wrong. The motor and ESC I was using died. I guess we're trying again in the morning. Before the next flight, I swapped out the motor and ESC. The only ESC I could find didn't have a built-in BEC, which meant it wouldn't power the receiver and servos. So I had to solder in a separate BEC and also solder connectors onto the motor. That was a whole thing. But finally, as the sun rose, I was ready for flight 4. I pushed my center of gravity back further, and I also have a bunch of deflection on my elevons. So hopefully that'll help get us in the air this time. Okay, it's flying. It didn't immediately crash, so good progress. Oh boy, okay. That was a flight. But it still didn't last long. Another unstable crash. This plane was back on the ground and I was back at square one. And electronics ripped off, so that's not ideal. But it's all fixable. I was over it. I had tried everything, or at least it felt like I had. So I sat on it for the weekend. Not literally, but I've been trying to think through this whole center of gravity problem, and I went online and did another calculator, and it said the center of gravity should be about where I had it in the beginning. So I'm not really sure that it's actually the center of gravity that's the problem. I think more so what's causing my problems here is the fact that we've got this weird under camber 5-inch section here that is throwing everything off. So I think what I want to do is I want to remove that. I want to take that and make it like go up or do something to make it so that it's non-existent and causing problems. I stepped away and cleared my head and started thinking, remember, when I added more reflex to the elevons before, it actually helped a little. I took a closer look at the wing, and sure enough, there was this under camber section near the back. They were acting like flaps. It made sense. They were forcing the nose down and destabilizing the plane. So I decided to tear the whole wing apart. I spread the trailing edge open and removed the unwanted camber. Just maybe this was the thing that could push it over the edge from being a not very effective paperweight to becoming everything I've been dreamed of in an RC airplane. So you can see I got our control surfaces all hooked back up. I added some reflex into them so that actually it just helps the plane to fly straight and to not pitch down. So that's kind of what we're going for. I'm really excited about this new flat bottom. You can see that the air is going to come off of here and it's going to go straight onto the elevator, which is what we want. It's not really going to get to this surface here. So I think that'll be a lot better. So we're gonna see how it goes, but I gotta stick the motor back on here, and then we can get our electronics tidied up. I'm gonna do a quick paint job and get these fins back on, and I think I'm gonna just see you out at the field. Alrighty, so we got the wing back out here, and I got it all kind of put back together. So here we go. Flight attempt number 5. Let's see how it does in the air. That's what we're really here for. Well, that's not a good start. It's supposed to fly. But after a quick adjustment to the push rods to reduce the reflex of the elevons, nice. Yeah, it's flying. Woo! Yeah! It flies. Yes. And it flies pretty well too. I took it up, threw mistakes high, trimmed it out, and brought it back down for some blow passes. I wanted to do this gospel in flight section today to give you some encouragement from the king. Sometimes these builds don't go how I planned. Crashes, bad CG, or just things I didn't expect. But just like in life, perseverance matters. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Whether it's flying or faith, just keep showing up and don't quit. How about some aerobatics? That was, well, the slowest roll I've ever seen in my life, but hey, it worked. And most importantly, it flew really well. It's tough when a project doesn't seem to go your way, but I'm so excited that it finally flew, and even more excited how much I learned from this journey and how I can take those hard-learned lessons and hopefully build my next flying wing with more confidence and maybe even get it right on the first try. Like and subscribe if you want to follow along with my RC journey and see more RC adventures, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios. I'm sure it'll be fine, right?